Hello and welcome back to Up the Villa podcast, and welcome to Transfer Hub, your home of Aston Villa's transfer news, rumours, breaking news, new signings, anything to do with Villa across the course of the summer. This is the place to be. So, Aston Villa are favourites to sign Youri Tielemans from Leicester City. Big time player for Leicester. Brilliant central midfielder. There was a lot of clubs that were after him a year ago. Arsenal, I know they were after him at one point. So, he was hot property, but his contract has run out and he's currently a free agent. And all I'm going to say on this one is if you know, then you know about Youri Tielemans, because I've mentioned him before. So, right, let's get on in there then to Youri Tielemans. So, let's have a look at his player profile. He's just a class central midfielder, isn't he? He's got an awareness. He's got an absolute banger of a shot on him. Absolutely loves a volley. His passing range is fantastic. He's one of those really good central midfielders that knows the Premier League. Like, he's Premier League savvy, so he's know how he's just there. He knows the pace. He can live with the tempo. You could put him in any Premier League midfield, and he'll just tick over, and he'll just keep going. And I just think he's a really good player. And these stats absolutely back it up, because this season he's got a 7.04 rating, and you'd look at him this season and think he didn't play that well in this midfield, but he did. So he played 31 games, started 27, scored 3 goals. He had 2 assists. He had 63 touches per game, 82% passing accuracy, 89% in his own half, and he had 74% in the opposition half. His defending, he had 2.1 tackles per game. He was only dribbled past 1.2 times per game. His successful dribbles, 84%. His ground duels, 58% won. Total ground duels, 57%. So, his stats are really high. And I imagine if we go into different years, they're just the same. So, 7.08, you've got 7.15. So you can see in these heat maps that he can play in a lot of different roles. And we've got a really big transfer episode coming out later today as well, where we go into detail of where we think we need to strengthen. But again, from this heat map, you could see him potentially playing in the John McGinn role on that right-hand side, but he can play on that left-hand side as well. But the right-hand side is where he's quite heavy. So in that John McGinn role is where I'd say you could see a Youri Tielemans. And like what we discussed in that video, that we're going to need options. We're going to need squad players. We're going to need a better squad. So I think added in a Youri Tielemans on a free, wages will cost a lot. Signing on fee might cost a lot. This is a real savvy buy from Villa if we can get this one done, because it's just a Premier League quality player plonked in our team straight away. There's no adaptation. There's nothing. He's just a Premier League player that's won the FA Cup, that's won the Community Shield, that's been trying to get into, the Champions League with Leicester when they were flying. So this player sort of fits the mold of what we've got to do. And I know there might be a few of you saying that, like, he weren't performing that great at Leicester, his attitude, etc. But what you've got to remember is when Unai Emery signs a player, he gets that player back to their peak. He gets them back to their peak levels. So I don't see that being an issue. My vibe on Leicester this season was a little bit like Liverpool. When you've got a side of players that have been around together for a vast amount of years, it can go quite stale. And that's what I think happened at Leicester. I think you've got the same amount of players, the same group of players, There was no new players that came in the summer, so there was nobody. There was no vibe there, was there? So I think now that I just think that was the vibe at Leicester. But you can see from the stats that he still had a really, really good season. So his market value is still quite high. His market value is at 30 million. So it is still pretty high. He's a Belgian international. He's played 58 times for Belgium, scored 5 goals. He's played all through their career, under 15s, 16s, 21s. His market value peaked around 55 million in 2019. It plateaued at 55, and then it's gone back down to 30 million pounds. So yeah, still quite a lot. He's got 3 Premier League goals and 2 assists. I think that must have been this season. So if we have a look at his FBref stats, so he's averaging pass completion of 80 per 90. He's getting 2 progressive carries per 90, 2 tackles per 90, 1 block shot per 90, aerial duels 1 per 90. So his per 90s are pretty decent. Who scored have his main strengths at defensive contribution, very strong, long shots strong, passing strong, key passes strong, blocking the ball strong. His weakness is his concentration and his finishing. I think his finishing is pretty strong, to be fair. I mean, some of them volleys that he's scoring from the edge of the box are pretty decent to me. So I really like this one. A little bit like the Kamara. If we can get savvy and get a couple in on this free rundown contract market, I think it's great. I think he's a really good central midfielder. Does he walk into our team at the minute? Possibly not. But is he a player that would add value if a player is injured or a player is rotated? 110%. If you watch the episode that we've got out tonight, we really talk about the squad depth and what to expect. But a general vibe of what we were trying to get out of it was saying that at the minute our bench is quite standard. And I think we need some like for like now. One out, one in. One goes out the team, another one comes straight in the team that's as of the good quality of what the player that's leaving that team. So Tielemans, I really like him. I've really rated him for Leicester. I think he's a really good central midfielder. So if this one can come in, then I would be very happy with Tielemans coming into our football club. And once Unai Emery gets his hands on Tielemans, then I just think it would be a really savvy buy from Aston Villa. So Villa fans, let me know what your thoughts are. Tielemans to Villa, it's a big thumbs up for me. I am all for this one. So get involved in the comment section down below. Let me know your thoughts. Drop a like on this video. Up the Villa.